Okay, so you're going to think about which of these you think might feature in your sentence today.
The importance of multisensory teaching methods has long been recognised by professionals working with dyslexic learners or those with other specific learning difficulties. A multisensory approach to a topic might include visual, auditory and kinetic exercises, often turned into games. The more colourful and noisy, the better. Where it's being applied across mixed ability groups, a multisensory approach is proven to help all learners, even those without a learning difficulty.
So today we are going to be learning to write a story using a story map. So we're going to practice telling the story using the actions and the pictures that we've got up here.
Elf wrote, Billy had always been curious. One sunny afternoon.
The pupils in the class and dyslexic pupils as a whole, multisensory teaching is really fundamental to supporting their learning. And things like the story mapping, talking through a text, using actions and associating with pictures really helps to embed those language structures in their heads before they actually have to come to use them in their writing. It's a technique that we use quite frequently because writing for dyslexic pupils can be a real challenge. So having something already there to sort of hang the writing on is really, really helpful from the word go.
I think it's really important to employ a number of strategies, be they visual, auditory, tactile or kinesthetic, because I find that it really helps with memory if they're employing all of their senses. They're seeing, they're hearing, they're moving their way into a better understanding, if you like. I think using multisensory strategies activates different parts of the brain. It really helps with remembering things that you've done for recall in the future. So you've got splinter, split and splat.
Skilled SPLD teachers are constantly devising new multisensory ways of teaching, and in good schools there's a regular sharing of ideas and resources. Part of the reason for the success of multisensory teaching is its ability to make learning fun. For dyslexic learners who are reluctant to engage with the traditional learning process, it's a way of teaching without pupils realising they're being taught.
Jars of fruit and sweet puddings.
It's great fun because it engages them from the word go. So rather than me standing there and just talking and them listening, it actually gets them up, it gets them active and it gets them sort of engaged and participating in what they're doing from the outset. And we co-construct the story map. So the story map that we were using today, we actually worked on together. We'll agree the actions together. And as we go through, we're talking about the language, we're talking about the way the sentences are constructed, because it's laying the foundations for them to go off and then be independent. So this gives them a framework to start. But then once they come on to do their own writing, they can then start to play around with it. They can start to experiment with vocabulary, and we look at things like the sentence openers, the conjunctions. We look at some of the grammatical features of the text. But because they've got that really solid foundation that we've been through and we've overlearned, we've rehearsed and rehearsed and rehearsed, they've got a really solid foundation to start from.
I want you now to come up and add the sound buttons to 2 words each. Up you come.
In devising multisensory tasks, it's worth remembering that movement can aid learning too. Some dyslexic learners can find it hard to sit still for long periods. A chance to move around the classroom can reduce anxiety and stress and can be an additional way of learning too.
Like that?
Very good. Yes, well done. There are always movement breaks offered, and that's a really important part of what we do. And so for the phonics session that we've just delivered, for example, we had the moving up to the board and back for adding the sound buttons. We had them moving physically to do paired work and moving back again. There were opportunities for them to move up to get the whiteboards and move back to their places as well. And I think that's a really important part, just building the movement breaks for our children who find it very difficult to sit still still for a long focus time. We also hand out blue tack, and we've got learning boxes in every single classroom, and the learning boxes have wobble cushions, the whiteboards, fiddle toys such as stretchy men, and again the much loved blue tack. And that's a really good method of giving them permission to fidget, because I think lots of our pupils have come to our school and they've been told off for fidgeting and not being able to sit and listen in the normal way that one might expect in mainstream. But here we give them permission to fidget, then immediately that's something they don't have to worry about. With the multisensory learning, especially with things like teaching of spellings and phonic sounds, I think it's really important that they have the opportunity to listen, they have the opportunity to write it. We do air writing and table writing. We've got sand trays and trays full of lentils actually that they write in as well, and it's really getting them to do it in as many different ways as possible. It's all about overlearning and consolidating and making it okay for them to make mistakes, and it's fine you've not got it the first time, we'll just do it again a different way and then a different way after that. Okay, well done everybody, fantastic, clear your boards.
So to recap some of the main points of multisensory teaching. Stimulate the learner with visual, auditory and kinetic tasks. Make them colourful, easy and fun. Allow movement around the classroom where possible. Let learners make and correct their own mistakes. Share ideas and best practice with colleagues.